These are some observational drawing exercises that come from this book called Drawing with Children by Mona Brooks. And I've attached the image of these drawing exercises. If you were able to print them out and draw onto the paper, that's great. If you are not able to print out this image, you could just draw on another piece of paper, make your own boxes, and kind of follow along from my video. So I am first just going to write my name. And I am using a pen because I don't want to feel tempted to erase and make changes. The main goal here is I'm training my eye to look closely and notice lines and shapes. And if it doesn't look exactly like the shape or line above it, it's not a big deal. We're just practicing. So I'm just going to draw directly underneath the shape or line above. So drawing into this open spot. I'm looking closely. I'm noticing what the line is doing. And they get more and more complex as you go on. And there's even a level 3, which you might want to challenge yourself with. So I'm just going to continue on, looking closely, noticing lines, noticing shapes, noticing spacing between the lines. This line is curved, and I'm noticing if I were to do the second one down here, that would be a lot more space between these lines than there actually is. So I'm trying to gauge space as well. Now, does that look exactly like that one? Nope. I wish I had gone a little bit more and kept the space smaller between these two lines, but I'm observing. I'm noticing that that's what's making this series of lines not look exactly like that one. So that's helping me too. So I'm just going to keep on going. So this is the most challenging level, and there's a lot going on here, which can be overwhelming at first. So I find that if I just break it into just looking at one line at a time and trying to see how that one line interacts with another line and the space between it, it makes it a little less overwhelming. Okay, so that one's done. Now I'm looking at these vertical lines that I notice come straight down from the line I just drew. There are 4 of them. Now coming up here, I'm noticing this line starts here, it wraps around there. That was a little bit too much space, but that's okay. And now I notice 4 horizontal lines. Does it look exactly like that? No, it doesn't. Have I practiced observing and training my eye to see? Absolutely. I'm noticing a lot of little differences here. If I were to go back and do it again, I would want to have those lines a little bit closer together. Same with these. There's a funny little oops there, but this is all training my eye. Okay, with this final one, I like to look at these spaces. I know this looks like a tree, and so my brain wants to say this is a tree, and I'm going to draw a tree. But if I instead look at the spaces around the tree, this is called the negative space, the spaces around the object itself. If I try to draw these shapes, my drawing is going to look more realistic because I'm not focusing on drawing the branches itself, I'm focusing on drawing the organic shapes that I see between the branches. So I'm going to start in this area up here in the top right, and I am noticing a triangle. So I'm drawing that shape. And then I'm noticing that this shape starts a little bit lower than it, and it starts right there. That's about the right amount of space between these shapes. And it curves, and it comes down like a diagonal, and then it curves up and scoops around. And then I notice that there's another little triangle right here. And it kind of curves around like that. And then I'm noticing there's this shape. And this shape comes up like a diagonal, curves, it's got a little bit of a rounded area, it scoops down, around, and comes down. All right, there's another shape, organic shape over here. It starts, I can already tell that my spacing is a little bit off, but I'm not going to get frustrated or worry about that too much. This is just an exercise. I'm going to go up at a diagonal, round, and then, yeah, I don't have quite enough space to do exactly what that line did. That's okay. All right, so now I see this big shape here. It starts with a little rounded V area here and comes up at a diagonal, curves around and up, and now, okay, so I've captured that. Now let's look at this shape right here. Looking at the space between this line that I drew for this triangle. So it's going to come down like this. Oh, there's another little triangle. Okay. Over here I notice another little triangle. And then there's this shape. My last video cut out, and now I'm in a totally different location. So as I was drawing these last shapes, I was saying that I wasn't able to fully draw them the way that I was observing them because I'd kind of run out of space. So I made my triangle, this little triangle I observed, it ended up needing to be a little bit smaller, as did this shape right here. But that technique of drawing the negative space, drawing the spaces between objects, is kind of a good hack, a cool thing for you to be thinking about when you're trying to do realistic drawings, observational drawings of things that you have in your environment and things you notice around you. So enjoy training your eye to observe and look closely for lines and shapes.